This is Black the Fall from Sand Sailor Studio and published by Square Enix. So Black the Fall was originally a Kickstarter project, and it got its funding, and then it entered the Square Enix collective kind of incubator thing that they've got going, and passed that, and it was eventually published by Square Enix. Sand Sailor Studios are from Romania, based in Bucharest, and the game is kind of their way of showing the kind of perils of communism that the country kind of went through in sort of fantastical sci-fi setting. So this is running on the Unity engine. This is a side-scroller puzzle type deal, you know, for something like Inside or Limbo or like Little Nightmares that we had earlier on the channel. It's got the same kind of mentality behind it, which is walk in a room, puzzle, do something wrong, kill you. That kind of thing, you know? In my opinion, it's a little too kill happy. I know Limbo, for instance, has a lot of troll kills in that you kind of just walk forward and something randomly kills you and you're like, oh, Limbo, you jerk. But it uses them kind of sparingly and you don't really feel kind of shitty about it. But Black the Fall does it way too much, particularly in the first couple of scenes, in that it's almost like every 10 steps something kills you. And there's no way you knew it was going to happen. It gets really annoying after a while. But you can persevere to it. The puzzles are interesting. They're kind of physics-based. Some of them are a little obscure, and you're kind of scratching your head going, there's no way I would have thought to do that. But you did. Still. Some of them take a little bit too long to work out how to do them. The first half of the game, I'd say, is very frustrating. It's very dark. And not necessarily gloomy, I mean like really dark, as in turn up the brightness a little bit. I can't actually see what I'm doing. But you get past the first half of the game, you get into the second half of the game, it does open up a bit. They don't kill you every 10 steps anymore. The puzzles get a little bit more interesting. You get a robo-dog friend. You know, it gets a lot better in the second half, but the first half is, God, you really do have to just push through it if you can be arsed. Because if you haven't played Inside or Limbo, just go play them. They're the better game. But if you've already played them and you still like being killed randomly for no reason, go play Black the Fall. Destiny 2 had a beta this month, an open beta over a weekend and a closed beta for the week. Before that, if you pre-ordered it, which I didn't, so I was playing it on the weekend in the open beta. I was only really playing it for one day too. So content, it had the opening level, or what I assume is the opening level of the game, a strike and some PvP stuff, which I don't care about PvP, so I didn't really look into that. And I didn't play the strike because I don't play multiplayer with people I don't know. So, opening level is all I played. So you're given a character for the beta, based on the 3 classes. So I play a warlock, so I picked a warlock class. The game is still solid gunplay wise. I still enjoyed like the actual gunplay gameplay side of things. It's what kept me playing the original Destiny as long as I did. So that's still fun, that's good to see. There's changes to the enemies, to the Cabal. They've got some new tactics, they kind of rush you a little bit. There's some new enemy classes, flamethrower dudes and such, so that's fun. Normally I use a scout rifle, and the scout rifle was a bit shit, I felt, at least with this character build, so that wasn't all that fun. I had to try and use a new gun I'm not really used to. I went with a pulse rifle. I have a bit of practice with that, I suppose. There was very little content compared to the original Destiny's beta, which had a lot more to play. It's pretty much just the one level and the strike if you're interested, which I wasn't, so dunno. I mean, I'll still probably get it begrudgingly. I do like the gunplay, so I don't know. But yeah, it's a beta, so not much to say. It looks like it's a game that will be fun, but there'll be more when the game comes out proper, I suppose. This is Serial Cleaner from iFun for All and published by Curve Digital. I think this is iFun for All's first game and it's running on the Unity engine. So this is a stealth game set, I think in the 60s or the 70s, whenever flares and mustaches were popular for unironic reasons. You play a cleaner working for various criminal interests, and your job is to, remove bodies and hide evidence and clean up blood and such and such and such, right? The cleaner job, your typical crime enterprise. The only issue and the only problem is, and here's where the gameplay comes in, the police are already at the crime scene. So you need to stealthily move your way around the crime scene, avoiding the police and cleaning up, any evidence, any bodies and so on. It's an interesting concept, and it's what drew me to the game in the first place. It gets a little repetitive after a while, though. I don't think there's enough going on. The gameplay tends to just be hide from guy, wait for him to look away, go over, do thing, go back into hiding, wait for him to look away again, and so on. Repeat, repeat, repeat. One thing that does throw me off, the stealth aspect is fine. I actually enjoy that kind of stealth gameplay, but what throws me off in this game is how punishing it is when you mess up. So the enemies it's not quite instant fail, but if an enemy spots you, obviously you need to get away from them and hide, but they move so quickly and you tend to be so close to them when you're spotted that there's pretty much no chance you're going to get away in time. At least I couldn't get away in time. And that would be fine in isolation, but when it's paired with a second design choice, which is the levels themselves are semi-random, meaning the maps are set, but the locations of bodies and evidence and blood trails and things like that are randomized around the map to some extent. And combining that with the fact that when you are caught rather easily, it resets the level, you never really get a chance to come up with a decent strategy. So you might think, okay, I was spotted that time, so maybe if I wait a little bit longer, if I move over to this corner or something, I'll be able to move past them. But then the level resets and everything's randomized again. You're like, great, gotta come up with a new strategy now. And if that keeps happening and happening and happening, you just, don't want to play the game anymore. But if you don't mind that kind of thing, I suppose, if you want to put in the time and get good at it, it's something there for you. It's quite cheap as well. I got it on the PS4 store during the sale. I think it's still on the sale, so check it out. This is Superhot from the Superhot team. This is running on the Unity engine. It's a first-person shooter that I kind of feel is more of a puzzle game. So the basic conceit or the basic concept for this game is time will only move when you do. Meaning if you don't touch the left analog stick, the game won't go anywhere. And that basically gives you the time to line up shots, or to see that bullets are about to hit you in the face, or to see where the enemies are in the scene and plan your next steps accordingly. So you take a couple of steps and gameplay moves on, enemies change, they start shooting at you, things like that. You need to go find a gun and shoot them in the head, and hopefully not get killed on the way. So in that case I kind of feel like it's more of a puzzle, because you need to sort of plan your route. Maybe it's tactical rather than puzzle. It feels really good when you do it right. Especially when you get this cool replay at the end where it shows you in full time, without all the stops that you took, how you beat the level. So you get this kind of weird Matrix sort of superhero John Wick thing going on, where you're running around enemies and pulling guns out of the air and whipping around 180 degrees, shoot that guy across the room in the head and things like that. You feel like, oh yes, I'm amazing. And then you get into the next level and you die immediately. It's like, shit. So it is a lot of fun. It's a bit heavy on the trial and error side. You can find yourself in a room where you're just constantly dying, you just don't even know what you're supposed to do. You just try random stuff and hopefully it'll work. Some of the enemy abilities are a little mean. The shotgun in particular is a pain in the ass to get away from. The spread is just ridiculous. But it's a lot of fun to play. I'm really enjoying it and I really want to get better at it. There's also a VR version of Superhot, which I have not had a chance to play yet. I do have a PSVR, and the VR version of Superhot is available for it. And I have it on my console, I just haven't got a chance to play it yet. I will hopefully have it in next month's video, if you're still interested. Otherwise, Superhot is really, really good. You should play it.
Super hot, super hot, super hot, super hot, super hot, super hot, super hot.
Final Fantasy XII, The Zodiac Age, developed and published by Square Enix. So this is a HD remaster of the original Final Fantasy XII, which came out in 2006, just before the PS3 came out. So it was one of the last games to actually come out on the PS2. And technically this is a remaster of the international version of Final Fantasy XII, which ironically never left Japan. I don't know why they called it the international version, but there you go. Maybe someone could correct me on that. As far as I know, it never left Japan. Anyway, the international version of Final Fantasy XII was a big change to the original version of Final Fantasy XII. So, for some reference, I didn't really like Final Fantasy XII, and the main reason I didn't like it was because of the main character. But the second reason I didn't like it is because the license board, and not really because of the license board, it's more because every character ended up being the same by the end of the game. So if you're not familiar, the license board is how you upgrade your character, it's how you get new stats, it's how you get new abilities and new equipment and things like that. So it's kind of like the sphere grid from Final Fantasy X, only you can kind of go in any direction you want. But eventually you fill up the whole board and everybody has the same board, so every character ends up being the same. At least in the original Final Fantasy XII. In the international version, they added the job system. The job system had 12 jobs. It's a Zodiac job system, there's 12 Zodiacs. And in that way you could, make your characters a bit more unique. You could give them jobs. You could make them black mages, white mages, knights, samurai, ulams, whatever they are, some kind of spear thing. Anyway, lots of different jobs. The characters ended up being different. You had a reason to have them in your party rather than just picking 3 random people. Fine, whatever. So that's why I'm picking up the HD version, because I never got to play the job system, because as I said, it was only in the international version, which was a fake international version and never came out internationally. Now I get to play it. And yes, the job system is a huge improvement, because now the characters actually feel like characters, except for Van, who's still an asshole. So there's much has been made about the job system and various other changes like the trial mode and the super speed mode for this version. However, most of these changes were already present in the international version. The only real change you're going to see between the international version and the HD version is the HD graphics. There's new music, the music is now orchestrated. The game is a tiny bit easier, and now you can take 2 jobs per character, which means you're 6 party members, and there's 12 jobs, which means you can have 2 jobs per party member. So now you can fill the whole job board with your whole party. Great. That's very, very good, because I was not interested in replaying it to check out all the different jobs. One thing I would say about the job system is, my god, when you see the screen and you have to choose your job for your character, it is the most choice paralysis I think I've ever experienced in a video game. It's like, oh my god, the hell do I pick? I don't even know what these jobs do for the most part. White mage, black mage, sure, I know what that is. Red mage, yeah, I got a good idea. I think for a lot of the other ones, it's like, the fuck, I don't even know what I should pick. I don't know. Anyway, I'm reasonably certain I've picked all the wrong jobs for everybody, but anyway, there we go. So yeah, I'm enjoying it again. Or for the first time, perhaps. I did sort of like Final Fantasy XII. It's just, I just remember the bad parts more than the good parts, I guess. I definitely prefer 10 over 12. And I think I preferred 12 a lot more when it was called Final Fantasy Tactics, and I think I preferred Final Fantasy Tactics a lot more when it was called Vagrant Story, but there you go. So, some good things to bring me back to it. The job system in particular is obviously a massive draw. Van is very much not a massive draw. Oh, I hate him so much. But Fran, though, God, I love Fran. She's great. I could listen to her say Rabanaster over and over and over again. It's amazing. Anyway, I've got a huge JRPG to play, so I'm reasonably happy. Anyway.
Our regards to your girl.
We stay in Rabanastra a while.
Those are some of the games I played for July 2017. Coming up next month, we're looking at Hellblade from Ninja Theory. So I've done 2 LPs of their games. I did Enslaved and their Devil May Cry game. So I'm quite looking forward to Hellblade. And there's Matterfall from Housemarque, who did Nex Machina, which was on the channel last month. And then there's the next Uncharted 3.5 maybe. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but anyway, it's another Uncharted game. I'll probably play that, so fairly busy month for August. Hopefully looking forward to it. Hopefully try and get a bit of Superhot VR in there as well. Not entirely sure I'm going to do VR recording, but we'll see. See you next time.